welcome to Babble About Books. My name is Tavia and today you are joining me for a weekly vlog. It is Sunday, July 11th at about noonish. I'm just going to go over what my plans are for this week of reading. This one is going to be from today until probably about Friday, and then I'm going to do like a mini special vlog for next weekend. Haven't decided yet, or I may just do one all the way up until next week, but that's to be determined. So I don't have all the books I plan on reading because I have a special reading plan for this coming weekend. So I've got quite a few books I want to dip my toes into this week. Realistically, I'm probably only going to finish maybe one or two of them, but I've got a stack of books. Also, I'm in a different location. My brother moved out, so I've got my office set up, which is where I currently am right now, so I apologize if there's like an echo because there's like basically really nothing in this room. But for sure, I'm going to pick up Shah and the Song of Death, which is the second book in the Pandava series by Roshni Chachki. I'm pretty sure I said I was going to read this last vlog, and I didn't pick it up. I still haven't picked it up, but I do plan on picking this up today at some point when I get into a physical reading book mood, because I honestly probably haven't physically picked up and like read a book in 2 weeks or so. I've just been listening to them. So this is the first one I want to get to and definitely finish this week. But yeah, so that's the first book. And then I also want to make some progress in Meet Me in Paradise by Libby Hubshire. I do have to finish this month because I was supposed to read it last month. So I do want to make some good progress in this either today or at some point this week. And then in my TBR video, I talked about Story of the World by David Mealing. I wasn't going to punish myself for it because it is a very chunky fantasy and I'm just starting to get into adult fantasy. So I'm hoping to get maybe a couple more chapters in this and, you know, slowly work my way through this. So this I may pick up because I'm really in a fantasy mood right now. So I may pick this up and work a little bit more through this week as well. But this is not like on my top priorities for this week at all. And then lastly, I do want to pick up Daughter of Sparta by Claire M. Andrews. This is about Daphne, and she has to go to war and save Olympus and stuff like that. I really don't know what it's about. I'm gonna show you my cat crawling out of a tunnel of blankets. But yeah, I really don't know what this is about. It just, I have a subscription to Once Upon a Book, and this was their YA pick for June or May, I want to say. So yeah, I kind of want to pick this up and start this week as well. But this also isn't on the top of my list. Although this is, I think I'm putting this in as my YA fantasy for this month because I purchased it back in May. So yeah, so these are the books I kind of want to start dipping my toes into this week and hopefully finish this one, maybe finish this one, hopefully finish this one, and slowly work my way through this one. I am also listening to A Court of Mist and Fury right now. I'm on about chapter 58, I want to say, out of 70. So today I'm creating a new TBR board, so while I'm doing that and just like stuff around the house, I'm gonna listen to that. But then at some point I'm gonna sit and read some physical books once I get the motivation to do that. So yeah, I will update you when there's more to update. Bye. Hello, it is about 3 o'clock on Sunday now. I have just finished A Court of Mist and Fury, and anger is all I can say about it, and sadness. So that's my thoughts on that. I filmed a couple YouTube videos, and now I'm working on my board game. And because I'm so angry with A Court of Mist and Fury right now, I am not going to pick up the other book. I need time to digest what just happened. So since I am going to be painting my board, I still want to read, and I have still all the books from my TBR game to read. So I have downloaded the Occult from Alchemy to Wicca by John Michael Greer, I believe. I can't remember. I do own it physically, but I'm just gonna listen to it off of Scribd while I try and create a new board game. Well, not create a new board game, just make my new board game. And I'm waiting for my lunch to be delivered. Should be here shortly. So yeah, that's an update. My parents are gonna swing by. My brother, when he moved out, accidentally broke a door, so my dad's gonna fix that real quick. And then probably when I'm done eating and after I've kind of got this mapped out, I'm going to go sit down and read. I haven't decided which book I'm gonna pick up yet, but at some point today I will be physically picking up a book. I just don't know when yet. But yeah, so there's a reading update. I finished A Court of Mist and Fury. Anger and sadness are the only things I can say right now. And so I'm gonna take a little break from them, and I am going to listen to the Occult from Alchemy to Wicca by John Michael Greer, I believe. Like I said, and just work on my board game until probably about 5-ish, and then I'm probably gonna go chillax in my bedroom and physically pick up a book. So that's my plans. I'll catch you when there's more to catch. It is 8:26 on Tuesday, July 13th. I did not update you guys yesterday, but I promise I have done quite the reading since talking to you on Sunday. I know I last spoke to you, I was listening to A Court of Mist and Fury, and I think I had just finished it. And then I just said I was going to work on my board game, which I did a little bit, and then I did my nails instead and listened to a different book, which isn't on my TBR, but it was on Scribd, so I listened to that. It's a book I own, and it's the book I chose for my nonfiction role. Yeah, I had a nonfiction role for my TBR, so I guess I lied. I did finish one of my TBR reads, and so for a book that I already owned for my nonfiction, I picked up the Occult book, A Chronological Journey from Alchemy to Wicca by John Michael Greer. Beautiful edition, but I did listen to it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Very informative. I've done a lot of research into Wicca before, but listening to the stories and kind of like where certain things derived was really, really cool. So yeah, I listened to this. I enjoyed it. It is very textbook type style. So yeah, I finished A Court of Mist and Fury Sunday. I finished the Occult book Sunday as well. And then, sorry, I keep on just looking down at my reading journal. So I'm making sure I'm updating you guys properly. And then I did finally pick up Shah and This Song of Death. I am currently 123 pages into it. I'm loving it. I'm reading it before bed every night. I even drove back to work because I forgot it at work, because I fully believe you should always have a book with you at all times. So I take it to work with me, and the end of work got busy and I ended up leaving it, so I drove back to pick it up so I could read it tonight. So I'm reading this, and then yesterday on Scribd I'm just finding like tiny little like 5-hour audiobooks to listen to while I'm at work, because none of the books that I would like get through like Amazon or something are really calling to me, and a lot of I like keeping track of my page count, and so it's just easier with Scribd to listen to them on there. So I read, it's called The Beautiful Stories of Life, 6 Greek Myths Retold by Cynthia Rylant and illustrated by Carson Ellis. I of course didn't see the illustrations because I just listened to it. Hey, so I had to That update short, my roommates came home. And we're being loud, so I couldn't talk. Olivia Reads a Latte is in my background, yes, because it's now 9 o'clock, and I just finished editing my book haul video real quick while they were out in the living room being loud. So I think I was talking to you about listening to audiobooks. So I finished the Greek myth retellings yesterday, and then I read some more Shah yesterday, and today I haven't physically picked up a book yet. I am about to schedule this to go up tomorrow at 6:30 because tomorrow's Wednesday, today's Tuesday, as you know. And today I have listened to, it's called Fearless by Mandy Gonzalez. I have about 40 minutes left in the audiobook of it, so I'm going to go hop into bed and finish that up real quick, and then I may pick up Shah, but probably not, since I still have about 40 minutes left of this book and I want to finish it today. I'm enjoying it. It's a middle grade. It's about this girl who goes to New York with her grandma, and the production that she's in is like cursed. I'm enjoying it. They have like little interludes in it that are like really throwing me off, that I'm not enjoying, but I don't know what that looks like in the book, so I don't know if I was physically reading the book if that would like change my view on it. But the little interludes that happen I don't like. But other than that, I'm enjoying the book. It is very, like, I feel like there's like young middle grade and then like more mature middle grade. This is definitely, I think, geared towards the younger middle grade section, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's something to listen to, and I used to do musicals in school. I cannot sing at all. Musicals were all inclusive, but I could dance. I used to dance, so throwing me back to high school days of when I used to be in productions, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and finish that after I get, while I wait for this to export and everything, I'll listen to this. So yeah, that's my update for now. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. July 21st at about 10 o'clock. I realized I have not updated you since probably Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I apologize. I do have some clips of in between all then. I went up north to Michigan this past weekend for a little self-care, all alone vacation, because I was up there and I just needed some self-care, time alone, you know, living life type stuff. I really didn't vlog, but I did get some videos of the beaches I went to and some of the things I did. So I'm gonna include that in some photos of my trip. But I did get a lot of reading done this week. I didn't necessarily finish the books that I wanted to finish in this vlog, but I did finish quite a few books. So we'll start with the first book I finished. I finished A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I hadn't started this in this vlog. I listened to it, but I did finish it in this vlog. So I read this. I loved it. This is the second book to A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is the second book in the series. So far, definitely better than the first one. Absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to pick up the third one. And then the next book I finished is the Occult book, A Chronological Journey from Alchemy to Wicca by John Michael Greer. I listened to this last week, and I think I already told you my thoughts on it. It was very interesting. It's very much like a textbook. This was for my nonfiction that I rolled this month, so this was on my TBR, so that's great that I was able to listen to it and finish it. And yeah, it was pretty good. It was very interesting. So yeah. And then the next book that I read and finished, I don't actually have physically. It is called The Beautiful Stories of like Greek Gods or something like that. I listened to that. I read The Beautiful Stories of Life, 6 Greek Myths Retold by Cynthia Rylan, I believe. I listened to that while I was at work one day. I really liked it. It also has illustrations in it, which I didn't get to see because I listened to it, so I definitely want to purchase it so I can look at the illustrations, but I really enjoyed it. I love Greek myth tellings, so there's that. The next book I listened to and finished was Fearless by Mandy Gonzalez. It was okay. It's a middle grade. I'm wanting to explore the middle grade more, and now that I have Scribd, it's easier for me to listen to books while I'm at work and, you know, cleaning and stuff. I enjoyed it for the most part. It wasn't my favorite. It's definitely, I feel like, more catered towards like the younger end of middle grade. I think I like the more between middle grade, young adult, but that is still to be determined because I'm still dipping my toes in the middle grade genre. So yeah. And I am reading another book for my middle grade, but if I end up not finishing it this month, I'm just going to transfer that one over to my middle grade because I have to read a middle grade, and I got Scribd last month, so I'm kind of gonna maybe give me a little leeway with that, but I'm going to try and finish Arusha on the end of time this month. I'll definitely finish it. It's only the 21st, so there's that. The next book I finished that I don't own, so I can't hold it up for you, is A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I did not like it the first couple chapters, if I'm being honest. I did not like it at all, and I was about to DNF it because I was just like, it's a grumpy old man who wants to read about that, but I persevered, and I'm so happy I did because it is like almost as good as Salt to the Sea by Rita Sepetys. To me, it is gonna be hands down like one of my favorite books this year, most likely. I listened to it on my way up north to stay at my sister's on Friday, and I'm like driving and like crying. It is such a sad book, but it's so good. So I definitely recommend it. I loved it, and I don't want to give too much away about it, except it's about a grumpy old man, and like if the first like 5 chapters aren't really your thing, I ask you just to try and continue a little bit further. It gets better, I promise. And then the next book I read and finished was The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I listened to this on my way up to Michigan, and then I physically read it at the beach, which was so much fun. It was great. Absolutely loved it. I am happy I bought it. It was adorable. And yeah, so this is about a wedding. The bride and the groom get really sick. So the sister and the groom's brother, like the sister of the bride and the brother of the groom, go on the honeymoon because the bride won the honeymoon, and it was like non-refundable, can't change the dates, but they were super sick, so they couldn't go. And so the sister and the brother went, and they hated each other, and romance ensues, and it was adorable, and I enjoyed it very much, and I would highly recommend if you're looking to pick up a cute little romance. But yeah, I read this and finished it this weekend, and I highly recommend it. The other books that I read that I haven't finished is Arusha and the Song of Death. This is the second book in the Pandava series by Roshni Chachki. I am 159 pages in. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I like Roshni Chachki's writing, and I love this series. I love Minnie. I love Arusha. And so yeah, the first book, basically it's about the Pandavas, and these kids are the descendants essentially, and they just go on adventures and find things. So other book I read a little bit of was Meet Me in Paradise by Libby Hubshire. I am on page 96. It is adorable and I'm enjoying it so far. I definitely plan on sitting and reading this today, I believe, once I'm done with all of the stuff that I am working on, because today is one of my days. Well, today's my day off and I just got a list of things to do, but I am slowly but surely making my way through this. I will be finishing this month. I have to, or I have to get rid of some books, and I don't want to do that because, you know, that's sad. So yeah, I've read about 60 or so pages of this. So all in all, in the books that were on my actual TBR for this vlog was these two, and I did not finish them. But I have finished 5 books in this vlog, so like, go pat myself on the back for that one. And then I am almost done with the Book of Lost Names by Kristen Harmel. Again, I'm listening to that on Scrib. I've got about an hour left, so I definitely will be finishing that today. So I'm going to count that in this vlog. So I've officially read and completed 6 books and made some progress in 2 others. I have not missed one day of reading this month, and the lowest amount of pages I've read this month was 15 pages, and that was on the 19th, which was yesterday. No, the day before, Monday. And that's just because I was super tired from my trip, because the place that I went is like 6 hours away and I've got some medical stuff going on, so I'm just extremely exhausted currently. And so then making that super long drive on Sunday on my way back, because Monday was just, and then I had to go back to work on Monday. And so yeah, and then on Friday when I went up north, it took me, so from where I live to get outside of another town that's about 45 minutes away, it took me 2.5 hours because of traffic. So a 45-minute drive was 2.5 hour drive. So then my 4-hour drive was actually a 6-hour drive. Sorry, my 1.5-hour drive was actually a like 3 or 4-hour drive. So I only read 15 pages on Monday. Well, listened to 15 pages on Monday. But other than that, I've been very consistent this month and it feels great. And I'm just so happy with the books I've picked up. I'm gonna put these down. I don't know why I'm still holding them. I've just enjoyed all the books I've been reading so far, and I'm really happy because last month was just not a good month for me. I don't know if it was the books I picked or if it was just, you know, a bad month for me in general, but I'm flying through stuff right now, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!